Hi, I'm Maria Bailey of She Streams TV and Mom TV, Mom Talk Radio, and we're delighted to bring you today's online mommy party topic, which is MADD, and that's capital MADD. Many of you know MADD as Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and you may say to yourself, I have a middle schooler. Why do I need to this topic? Well, I can tell you as a mom of 4 teenagers that the topic of drinking and driving and alcohol is going to enter your life well before you think that it's a topic that you need to be discussing with your children. And even if your child doesn't drive, it's important to educate them about getting into a vehicle with another child who's driving. So even if you think that, okay, my child is in the 8th grade, every now and then he might get a ride home with an older child who's driving, but I really don't need to talk about alcohol yet because, of course, my child doesn't drink. And let me just tell you, it has been an eye-opener. Being the mom of 4 high schoolers, discover that every mom that says, oh my gosh, my child wouldn't drink, that child is the first child to drink, and I can assure you of that. Just the other night, I had a mom whose child has been at my house no fewer than 4 or 5 times drunk, was professing to this whole other group of moms how, oh my gosh, my child would never drink, he is much too smart for that, and I have to tell you, she was wrong because I've seen her child drink, and it's best to open up those conversations now at any given age with your child. So today what we're talking about is drinking and driving in our children, particularly our teenagers. Did you know that I'm sure you know that car crashes are the leading cause of death for teenagers. Scares me every time my child gets in a car. But that 1 out of 3 of those crashes are alcohol related. And it's really a sad fact that at our high school in particular, we've been blessed this year, but at least 4 kids that start in their freshman year will not graduate because of a drunk driving accident. That's how important this topic is. And MADD national president joined MADD after her 15-year-old daughter, Elisa, died in a car crash. Next week is the 20th anniversary of that terrible crash, and she really hopes to prevent other moms from having to go through a similar tragedy. That's why she's speaking out, and she's going to be on Mom TV. You're going to see her on a lot of websites. But she's speaking out and talking about a resource called MADD's Power of Parents Resources. And Power Talk 21 is the national day for parents to start talking with their children about alcohol. And MADD is kicking that off with events and workshops across the United States. One of those workshops is a 30-minute parent workshop that aims to equip parents with the tools to start that potentially life-saving conversation. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about it on this online mommy party. And at the end of our discussion, I'm going to be giving away 4 $25 American Express gift cards to anyone who answers the question. We're going to randomly pick. If you've ever been to an online mommy social, it has nothing about being the first to answer. It has everything to be about just participating and engaging. And so today, as we talk about MADD and their Power Talk 21, I'm going to be telling you a little facts about it. And then at the end, I'm going to ask you questions so that you can answer the question, and then you'll be able to have your name in a drawing to win one of 4 American Express gift cards. So April 21st kicks off Power Talk 21. Get it? Power Talk 21, April 21st. And really that's the day that MADD is encouraging everyone to stand up, have a conversation with your kids about drinking and driving. You can find their 30-minute workshop on on madd.org / parent workshops. And there you'll find that 30-minute interactive resource that will help you get that conversation going. You know, in my house, now that I have 4 teenagers, that the one thing that we have always said to our children is, no matter what time of night, whatever time of day, wherever it is, if you have the option of calling me or getting into a car with someone who has been drinking, even if it's 1 beer, please call me. There will be no questions asked. And I can tell you there have been several times, just this last St. Patrick's Day, I literally had to get in the car at 2 in the morning and go pick up my daughter because she didn't have a way home with anybody that had not been drinking. And for me, I would much rather have that no questions asked rule in my house than have my children get in a car with someone that's been drinking. So let's give away that first $25 American Express gift card. What day does Power Talk 21 take place on? And what day is it that you're going to have that very potentially life-saving conversation with your children? So if you just, you can either tweet it to us on Twitter using the hashtag PowerTalk21, or just put it right there in the dialogue boxes in the chat room, and right here on Facebook or She Streams TV, wherever you're watching, and give us your answer. What day does it start? And we'll select one winner who gives us that lucky day to win that $25 American Express gift card. You know, now that it's prom season, I can tell you that a few nights ago, one of my kids said, "Mom, everybody after prom is going to a penthouse to drink, and I would rather have friends come over to my house to drink. You know, what do you have to say about that?" And a long time ago, we established a rule. We haven't given them an answer yet, but we did establish a rule that if you come to our house and it's after 10 o'clock at night and people have been drinking or whatever, because now granted, they're not supposed to be drinking, but of course they're drinking, they have to give us their car keys. Nobody leaves our house without us giving them back their car keys. And so we actually have a drop box off in our house for teenagers where they drop their keys when they get to our house. And parents know they don't leave our house if I have any indication that they've had any drinking going on, either at my house or before, and because I'm not going to be held responsible. So the keys don't go back to them. But it is prom season, so it's a really good time on April 21st, so many of you got that answer, to have that discussion about how you get around after the prom, particularly if people have been drinking, and how you're going to handle it when your date or your ride has been drinking and they want you to get in the car with them. So together with Nationwide Insurance, the presenting sponsor of Power Talk 21 and Power of Parents, MADD created a handbook to help guide parents through the difficult yet important conversation. And the handbook has been proven to significantly reduce underage drinking behaviors when used by a parent to guide conversations with their children. So here's a question for you. If kids drink under adult supervision, it teaches them how to make smart decisions about alcohol. Is that true or is that false? Okay, so what do you think? Is it true or is it false? So the kind of the myth is that if you allow your children to drink in your house or under adult supervision, it teaches them how to make smart decisions about alcohol. What do you guys think? Is it true or is it false? And if you get the right answer, your name goes in a hat for one of those $25 American Express gift cards. So what do you think, true or false? Because, you know, there are a lot of moms that say, and dads that say, hey, you know what? You can drink only when I'm around. And even if you're 16 or you're 17, it's okay. You can drink while I'm around. So What do you think? Is it true or it's false? I see a lot of falses out there. The Angel Forever saying false, Wendy saying false. And you know what? You guys are pretty daggum smart because you're right, it is false. And just teaching your child to drink around you, you know what you're doing really is you're teaching them that it's okay to break the law. And granted, the drinking age was 18 when I was in college. But you know what? It doesn't make it right for a 17 or a 16-year-old to drink now when the drinking age is 21. I got to tell you, I just put my own son on an airplane to Europe, and the drinking age is 18 there. And I got to tell you, he's 18, and I am taking deep breaths that he will do everything. We've had all of these talks. We've used the Power Talk 21 tools. We've used the tools that are on the parent workshop part of the MADD organization site, and you know what? Fingers crossed that I've laid the right foundation. So research shows that when parents give alcohol to kids, those kids are more likely to drink and to drink to get drunk. Research also shows that these kids are more likely to get into alcohol-related trouble than any other young people. 3 out of 4 kids say that their parents are the leading influence on their decision about drinking. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations about the dangers of drinking often and to keep it as an ongoing dialogue. You know, I'm not saying that we shouldn't like not drink because we don't want our children to drink. However, the apple doesn't fall far from times, even if we don't have those discussions and our children see us getting in a car drunk and driving, they're going to do it. Because if you tell them, I mean, I'll be the first to admit that until my children pointed out to me that I was texting while behind the wheel one day, I didn't realize that I was telling them that I didn't want them texting and driving, but yet I was committing the crime myself. And let me tell you, as soon as they pointed that out, and I can tell you the red light that I was at in Orlando, Florida on the way to Disney, I've never done it again because I don't want them to see me doing the behavior, but yet telling them not to do it. So, so it's very important that you set the example. I'll give you, an interesting thing that happened to me the other night. It was a very sad thing, actually. One of my dogs passed away in the sleep, and I was having a really bad day, and I was having a hard time getting over it. And somebody suggested to me that I needed to go have a really strong drink. And, my kids actually heard them say that to me. And I turned to the woman and I said, you know what? I wish I could, perhaps, but I don't believe in drinking to alter my emotions or to dull the pain that I might be feeling inside. I only drink when I'm celebrating something. And I don't drink when I feel sad or I want to get away from something because I don't believe in using chemicals to get over those kind of hardships. And it kind of, took her back. But I knew that my kids were listening and I knew my teenagers were listening, and I personally don't want them to use alcohol or any kind of substance for that matter to alter any kind of pain or emotion that they're trying to get over. So anyhow, maybe as a parent, the best example you could show is good drinking behaviors and, show them that you know how to stop and you know how to control your drinking as well. I'm going to encourage everybody to check out madd.org for information and resources on starting the conversation. And for the next $25 gift card, I'd like for you to share with me what are your tips for getting the conversation started with your own kids. So, how will you have that conversation with your teenagers or even your younger kids? I've actually in our house been having the conversation about alcohol for a very long time because alcoholism runs in our family, and we wanted our children to be aware of the fact that there are people that they love in their lives that have had problems controlling their drinking. And so at a very young age, we started talking to them about the likelihood that they would not become alcoholics the longer they put off and pushed off when they had their first drink. So how would you talk to your child about drinking? You know, one of the conversation starters or the places that I like to have conversations with my teenagers is when I'm driving in the car. And someone on Mom Talk Radio a long time ago told me that it's best to have conversations with your teenagers when they can't look you in the eye or you're not forcing them to look you in the eye. So if you're in the car driving, it's normally kind of quiet. There's lots of other little distractions. And your teenager doesn't feel like you're like gazing in their eyes, asking them for questions, you know, for an answer. But they can look out the window and they don't have to make eye contact when they're young, when you're talking to them. I think Amanda, you know, Amanda's talking about her kids being young. Don't you hate the fact that Toby Keith now has done the whole solo cup song? Because now every kid knows what every mom has been hiding in their solo cups at the soccer field. You know, and that just, you know, there's a good example right there. You have all these moms that go to the soccer field, wine or a solo cup, and clearly they are drinking. Now, have you ever seen one of those same moms turn over the car keys for someone else? So basically, they're having a glass of wine at the soccer field in their red solo cup, and then what do? They pack up the kids and they drive them home. So what do you think the example they're setting for their own children is? Okay, that it's okay to drink and then get in the car and drive a bunch of toddlers or grade school kids home. And God forbid if your child is one of the children that she's driving in her. Anyways, let's pick a winner for the mom who's given us a tip about starting the conversation with her kids. And we'll go on to the final question. How do you set a good example for your kids? We're going to give away 2 $25 gift cards this time. So share with us how you set good examples. You know, do you do that by maybe waiting until after they go to bed to have a drink? Do you do that by talking about the fact that you know, drinking makes you feel silly, so that's why you don't do it? I remember a long time ago that I told my kids, I just can't drink because I get ridiculously silly when I'm drinking. And, you know, it only took my daughter's Sweet 16 party for me to prove that. I was in such denial that she was turning 16 that I had one too many blue drinks and ended up dancing to Soldier Boy on a table at my daughter's 16th birthday, okay? Bad example. That is an example of what you don't do. That's an example of a woman who, like, I so rarely drink that I can only have one drink and that's it. And besides that, who the heck wants to drink their calories? You know, like, are you kidding me? Like, if I'm going to use up 300 calories in drinking a margarita, I'm going to have the biggest piece of chocolate cake possible instead of that margarita, okay? Because I would rather have a big old piece of chocolate cake than have some mind-changing drink that's going to make me feel like crap the next morning because I'm going to wake up with a headache and a hangover. So anyways, how do you tell your child? We're going to pick 2 of y'all who will win the $25. And everybody, this is really important about Power Talk 21. It's April 21st. You know, about it. You know, let other moms know how important it is to talk to their kids about drinking, because I'm telling you, as someone who has gone through middle school, if you think your kids or your kids' friends are not drinking in the 7th and 8th grade, they are, okay? And it's a very, very important conversation. Hashtag PowerTalk21 on Twitter. And I really appreciate you spreading the word and letting other moms know that those resources are out there. You know, Wendy, it's interesting. I grew up in a house where I never saw alcohol, and my parents never drank beer in the refrigerator. And I almost think that that made it harder for me later on in life because I didn't know what moderation was, and I actually couldn't identify people around me who had a drinking problem because I just thought, oh, when someone comes home with a six-pack of beer and drinks the whole thing, I thought that's what I had seen on television, and I thought that was normal behavior. So I had no gauge for what was, I guess, quote, normal when it came to alcohol. So I personally, in my life, wish that my mom and dad had like at least talked to me about moderation, even though I didn't ever drink in my house. Um, so I have to tell you, my daughter actually is choosing not to go to a certain college next year that accepted her, and it's breaking my heart. It's a very prestigious college, but she's actually choosing not to go there because of the alcoholics consumption that she's reading on Facebook and other places. So I think starting the conversation early really does a lot. I want to remind you, you can go to Power of Parents on the MADD website, Power Talk 21. April 21st is the day. You can go to madd.org to get all the information. And Elizabeth, Amanda, you are our last winner, and you won one of the $25 gift cards. I hope you guys will join me again. We're going to be having online mommy parties quite more frequently on She Streams TV, and I hope you'll join us next time for our next mommy party. Thanks so much for those of you who put the children down for naps, and thank you for MADD for bringing us this very, very important information. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next time here on She Streams TV. I'm Maria Bailey.